We're going to be putting a very large tariff on chips and semiconductors.
President Donald Trump announced a new tariff. This time, the target is copper. All imports will be charged a 50% duty starting August 1st.
It all started with a simple signature on a document, but the fallout hit like a seismic shockwave through the world economy. Washington's 50% tariff on imported copper unleashed a domino effect that spiraled out of control. Overnight, copper prices on the COMEX exchange shattered records, soaring to $5.95 per pound. Traders stared in shock, while the U.S. Treasury took an immediate $4.2 billion hit. Retaliation followed swiftly. Canada, supplying nearly half of America's refined copper, halted contracts and slashed deliveries. Major mining firms cut off supplies, and Ottawa laid it out plainly. Trade dies when trust is broken. Copper, the vital artery of modern industry, got caught in a deadlock, and the ripples spread like wildfire. Factories ground to a halt. Electronics, building projects, and car manufacturers geared up for crippling shortages. A metal once humming quietly in the background now took center stage in a showdown that might redefine entire sectors. The big question: how deep will this mess run? And can the U.S. withstand the squeeze it brought on itself? When Donald Trump invoked Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act, labeling copper as essential for national security, America stepped over a threshold that would overhaul its industrial framework. As of August 2025, the 50% tariff on all foreign copper kicked in, sparking a cascade through markets, businesses, and whole nations. What seemed like a safeguard for U.S. producers soon exposed itself as a risky bet gone wrong. Copper prices stateside exploded, with futures on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange jumping 13% in one session, hitting all-time highs near $6 per pound. Yet, on the London Metal Exchange, prices edged down amid worries that U.S. demand would crater under tariff pressure. This split birthed a perilous 25% price chasm between American and international copper, letting traders pounce on arbitrage opportunities that highlighted fatal flaws in Washington's isolationist approach. The tremors didn't take long to jolt America's top ally and primary copper source. Canada, which shipped over half its copper exports to the U.S. in 2023, countered with calculated moves, not knee-jerk rage. In mere days, Ottawa pivoted, demoting the U.S. from reliable buyer. Deals paused and miners were directed to reroute chains toward Asia and Europe. For years, Canadian copper streamed seamlessly to U.S. docks. Now, that flow was dammed. Canada's stance was straightforward, yet potent. No more letting dependence dictate its destiny. Operations in Quebec and British Columbia, from giants like Glencore and Hudbay Minerals, swiftly rerouted exports, not to U.S. smelters, but to clients in Japan, South Korea, and China. The core vein of U.S. copper inflow was being diverted across seas, hinting at a lasting overhaul in trade dynamics for the American system. The fallout is dire. A tariff meant to shield home turf has made this industrial powerhouse metal tougher to get. Copper weaves through every chip, cable, car, and comms mast. The U.S. produces just over half its refined copper needs, importing over 800,000 tons in 2024, mainly from Canada, Chile, Peru, and Mexico. By slapping on tariffs without a solid local backup, Washington brewed a deficit no Band-Aid can patch. U.S. refining worsens the bind. Key plants like ASARCO in Arizona have faced closures, and other Southwest facilities can't bridge the vast void from vanished imports. This turns the tariff from armor into a snare, saddling firms with steeper bills while they hunt scarce stock. Experts liken it to the Hoover era of the 1930s, when barriers worsened global slump and isolated the U.S. from commerce. Today's peril echoes that eerily. Elevated copper expenses are fueling wider inflation spikes, jacking up outlays in fields from car production to power networks. Telecom outfits flag postponed rollouts, EV builders face expense blasts that jeopardize growth plans. Builders rework estimates weekly. It all loops back to one DC call. Canada's countermove amps the strain by steering copper outflows away from the U.S.